Hi, my name is Ethan. Before you decide this is just another scary story on the internet, I want you to know something. I didn't believe in stories like this either.
I was just a normal teenager, 16 years old. No problems with the law, no dark past, no drama. I played video games, a lot. That was it. I'm not here to blame games. I'm not here to tell you they're evil. I'm here because I died. And what I saw after that changed the way I understand games, social media, and what they're really doing to us. If you're watching this late at night, if your headset is nearby, if your phone is on your desk, lighting up every few minutes, please listen. This story starts like any other night. My parents were asleep. The house was quiet. The only sound in my room was the hum of my PC and voices on Discord. Gaming was the only place where my brain slowed down. School was chaos. News was chaos. Social media was chaos. But in games, everything was simple. Clear rules, clear goals, clear rewards. You do the task, you get the win. Level up, rank up, respect. Online, I was someone. In real life, I was just tired. That night, I told myself what I always told myself. One more game, just one. The match started. Fast, intense, focused. My hands moved automatically. Mouse, keyboard, muscle memory. I wasn't thinking anymore. That's what I liked the most. When the match ended, my heart was racing. Not excitement, something else. I leaned back in my chair and took off my headset. The room felt strange, too quiet. I stood up and the floor shifted under me, like I was on a boat. I laughed quietly and told myself I just needed water. Then my chest tightened. Not sharp pain, pressure, like someone was slowly pressing both hands inward. I tried to take a deep breath. The air stopped halfway in. My heart skipped. Then it started beating wrong, too fast, too hard, out of control. I reached for my phone to text my friend. My fingers were shaking so badly I couldn't type. My screen blurred. I remember looking at my monitor one last time. My character was standing still, idle, disconnected, and then everything shut off. No sound, no fear, no thoughts, just silence. The kind of silence you don't realize you've never had until it suddenly surrounds you. I opened my eyes. I was standing in my room. That didn't make sense. I looked down. I saw myself, slumped forward in my gaming chair, head tilted to the side, hands hanging uselessly near the keyboard. The screen was still on. My character hadn't moved. That's when I realized I wasn't playing anymore. I wasn't scared. That's what shocked me the most. You'd think seeing yourself like that would be terrifying. I expected panic, confusion, maybe even regret, but there was none of that. I felt light, a strange, weightless feeling, as if the very air had become water and I was floating through it. My body, the one in the chair, was gone. I could see it, yes, but it didn't matter. It was distant, like a toy I used to play with. Then the room shifted. Not like it moved, but like it had peeled away from reality. The walls became blurry, stretching, as if the world itself were breathing, and I was no longer in sync. The hum of my computer faded into nothing. Discord voices disappeared entirely, and even the faint glow from my monitor became a pale, irrelevant flicker. I was outside of it all. I didn't know where I was, but I felt pulled, not violently, just with certainty, upward and away. Through the ceiling, I rose, leaving behind my room, my house, the quiet streets. Everything looked so small, so fragile from above. The streetlights, the parked cars, the flickering TVs in windows. Life went on, oblivious to the fact that I had left it. But it didn't feel lonely. It felt like I was entering a space I had always known but had forgotten existed. The world dissolved into gray mist. Not darkness, not night, but a heavy, endless gray that stretched infinitely. I expected fear. Instead, there was calm, a strange comfort in the emptiness. The mist began to shimmer slowly, turning gold, like liquid sunlight pouring through clouds. The gray faded into brilliance, a light that didn't hurt my eyes, but filled me completely. And then I saw him. Jesus. Not like the paintings, not like the statues, not like anything I had seen in Sunday school. He was alive in a way that made reality around him seem cartoonish. He wasn't wearing robes. He was wrapped in light. Not solid, not metallic, not dull. Colors like a sunrise, amber, gold, red, moving as if the light itself were alive, flowing around him like water. When he looked at me, I felt it physically, a wave that struck my chest and calmed every part of me I didn't even know was tense. "You are tired," he said. His voice wasn't from one place. It was everywhere. It vibrated through me, a sound you could feel in your bones. I whispered, "I'm so tired," and the tears came, but not from sadness. They were release. He reached out his hand. I didn't move.
I couldn't. It wasn't fear. It was recognition. Awe, the understanding that I had never truly been safe in the world I'd known. "Come," he said, and suddenly the world changed. We were above the earth. Not as an astronaut might see it, all beautiful blues and greens, but in a strange, dim way. Cities, towns, neighborhoods stretched out below us, millions of tiny lights flickering. People. I zoomed in on bedrooms, living rooms, dorms. Everywhere I looked, people were staring at screens, phones, tablets, laptops. But this was different. I could see something they couldn't. A massive web, thick and black, hovered over cities and stretched across the world. It was alive. Not alive like a creature, but like a system, pulsating, feeding, controlling. "Do you see it?" Jesus said softly. I nodded, my chest tightening at the sight. The web had thousands of cables, sticky, oily, reaching into people's chests, their heads, their hearts. It wasn't just connecting them, it was feeding on them. I saw a boy on his bed, gaming late at night. The cable ran from the screen into the back of his head. A girl scrolled Instagram while lying on her couch, tears streaking her cheeks. The cable wrapped around her throat, feeding doubt and despair. Groups of friends sat at lunch tables, all on their phones, all connected to the web, not to each other. "They think these thoughts are their own," Jesus said. "But they are whispers from outside, feeding fear, comparison, loneliness. Every notification, every like, every comment, it feeds the web, making it stronger. Every mean word, every unfair judgment, it moves through the cables faster, pulling at their hearts." I watched, horrified. I realized my own room, my own late nights, my endless scrolling, my obsession with ranks and likes and hours spent online. I was feeding this too. My own anxiety, my isolation, my need to prove myself, it all had a source I hadn't understood. It wasn't just me, it was the system, and it was everywhere. Then I noticed shadows moving along the cables, small, frantic, dark, whispering. "You're not enough. You're failing. They are better than you. You will never make it." The people flinched, tightened their grips on devices, scrolled faster. They thought these were their thoughts, their feelings. They were not. The web had created them, feeding poison under the guise of connection. "This generation," Jesus said, turning to me, eyes fierce yet full of love, "is the most sensitive and gifted generation I have ever sent. You feel deeply, you hear my voice clearly, but the enemy knows this. He built the noise to drown out my presence. Games, social media, screens, endless cycles of content, all designed to distract, isolate, and weaken you." I felt shame, seeing my own habits mirrored in the cables and shadows. "I thought something was wrong with me," I whispered. "There is nothing wrong with you," he said firmly. "You were made to be alive. but you are being fed what is not yours. This is the war for attention, for your soul. He lifted his hand, and suddenly the world shifted again. The black web vanished. Light poured over the planet, golden and alive. And he said, "Come, I will show you the real world, the world you were meant to see." We were no longer above the earth. The world around me had changed entirely. The cities, the streets, the rooms, all that remained were shadows of life. It wasn't darkness, it was muted, drained, a gray void that swallowed color and sound. And there at the center was the web again. But now I could see it fully. It wasn't just black cables, it was sticky, pulsating sludge, alive with movement and intent. Every flicker, every notification, every scroll, every like sent a pulse through it, making it throb, tighten, feed. Jesus stood beside me. His presence made the gray mist recede around him, light spilling like liquid warmth into the void. He gestured and I saw myself and the boy I had been, lying on my bed countless nights, fingers trembling over a controller, eyes locked on a screen. The cable wrapped around my chest, invisible to everyone else, pulsing with each achievement, each rank, each victory. And the shadows were there, tiny but relentless, whispering into my thoughts. Not good enough. You are behind, you will fail. Give up. I realized with a deep chill that every late night, every obsession with games, every comparison on social media, every fleeting dopamine hit from a like or a win had fed this. I wasn't alone. Millions of teens were trapped the same way. Every home, every bedroom, every dorm room had its own cable, its own shadows, its own drain. And they didn't even notice. They thought it was normal. They thought it was themselves. Jesus didn't lecture. He didn't yell. He simply showed me. He guided my vision to a classroom. Students sitting at desks, eyes glued to phones, hands scrolling. One girl stared at her feed, thumbs moving automatically, eyes empty. A cable coiled around her throat.
Another boy laughed at a video, but the cable had reached into his mind, whispering doubts he mistook for his own thoughts. A group of friends tried to share jokes at lunch, but their heads bowed to screens. The cables connected them, not to each other, but to the dark cloud hovering above, feeding on every emotion, every thought, every fear. "This," he said, "is the filter. They think they are broken, anxious, depressed. They are not. They are being poisoned. They are being fed lies. This is why the world feels heavy. This is why hearts are anxious, restless, and empty." I watched, frozen, as the web pulsed faster. Shadows raced along cables, whispering, "You're ugly. You're behind. You'll never be enough. Give up. Stop trying." The kids flinched, trembled, scrolled faster. And I realized the system was alive, and it was insidious. It didn't need to scream. It whispered. It manipulated. It made them think the poison came from inside themselves. "I thought I was the only one," I whispered. "No," Jesus said gently. "You are not alone. This generation was made to feel deeply, to hear, to see, to love. But the enemy has placed noise where my voice should be. Games, social media, constant streams of content, all designed to distract, isolate, and enslave. If they were quiet, if they were present with me, this web would weaken. But as long as they are distracted, it grows stronger. I felt guilt, shame, even terror. I was feeding it. I didn't know. "You didn't," he said, "and now you can see. And seeing is the first step. The next step is action." He waved his hand, and the gray void began to dissolve. I saw a garden, but it was wild, neglected, cracked earth, weeds everywhere, thorns, garbage, broken remnants of screens, controllers, phones. I realized painfully it was my mind, and the minds of so many like me. Every negative thought, every fear, every comparison, every obsession had grown into weeds, and I had watered them without knowing. Jesus walked among the weeds, picking up trash, picking up memories. A post from years ago. Something cruel someone said about my appearance. He held it up. "You kept this," he said softly. Another, a vine of fear that I would never be enough. Another, a dried-up flower of shame for not performing, not winning, not being recognized. He gestured to the cracks in the soil. Every hour you spent feeding the noise, every scroll, every game, every comparison, you poured water here, on weeds, and wondered why no flowers grew. I cried, sobbing. "How do I stop it?" He smiled. The garden shimmered with golden light. Rain fell, golden rain, liquid sunlight. The weeds withered, thorns crumbled. Green shoots shot upward, vibrant flowers exploded across the ground. The air smelled of honey and lavender. "This is my presence," he said. "This is peace. You cannot find it in screens, in games, in social approval. You must come to me. 10 minutes of silence, 10 minutes of real presence can heal 10 years of noise." I wanted to stay. "Please," I whispered. "Don't make me go back. It's too loud. It hurts there." He placed a hand on my shoulder. Solid, warm, mountain-like. "You will go back, but not alone. Take this silence. Carry it. Share it. Show others they can unplug. Step away. Breathe. You don't have to fight alone. I am with you." And then the garden dissolved. The web returned, gray and alive. But I felt different. I felt peace, stability, a warmth I could carry with me. I understood now. The web was powerful, but not invincible. The silence, the presence, the connection with him, that was stronger. I felt myself pulled, violently, back into my body. Pain, fire in my lungs, my chest throbbed, searing. My eyes flew open, the gaming chair was beneath me. My headset tangled in my hair. Monitors flickered. The clock showed 2:33 a.m. My parents rushed in. Emergency lights. Chaos. But through it all, I felt it. The silence, the warmth, the anchor of peace I had brought back with me. I woke to a sharp gasp. Air rushed into my lungs like fire. My chest throbbed violently, a burning reminder that I had left my body and returned. My eyes flew open to the blur of lights, my parents screaming, strangers surrounding me in uniforms. Machines beeped, cords tangled, the smell of antiseptic thick. My body jerked, convulsed, and every part of me screamed pain. And yet, beneath it all, I felt calm, solid, anchored. A paramedic leaned over me, sweat on his brow, shouting, "We've got a pulse. Stay with us, Ethan. Stay with us." I looked at him, at my mother collapsing onto the floor beside me, tears and panic in her eyes. But I felt something she couldn't yet. I was carrying a peace they didn't understand. A light, golden, unshakable. The silence I had experienced wasn't gone. It was inside me. It was mine to take anywhere, anywhere in the noise of the world. The doctors ran tests. Machines bleeped. Doctors argued. Nurses moved quickly. They said my heart had misfired. An electrical malfunction caused by extreme stress, fatigue, and adrenaline overload. They said I was lucky to be alive. But I knew it wasn't luck. It was presence. It was guidance. It was him. I remember lying there, staring at the ceiling. The chaos around me fading into background noise. The golden light from the garden, the warmth in my chest, the certainty of his words, it remained. I realized then that this wasn't just about me. It never was. I thought about the millions of kids still trapped in the web, still feeding the darkness unknowingly, the ones staying up too late, chasing validation through screens, letting shadows whisper into their minds, the ones who feel broken but are not, the ones who think they're alone but are not. Jesus had shown me why. He had revealed the system, not to scare me, not to punish, but to equip me, to show me how deeply the enemy can manipulate and how deeply his presence can restore. You must carry the silence, he said. Carry it into the noise. Share it. Let others know it exists. Show them that they are not broken, that the fear is a trap, that my presence is real, solid, waiting. I knew I couldn't stay in that golden garden. I wanted to. I begged to stay. But he shook his head. Not yet, he said. Go back. Go back to tell them. Tell them they are not alone. Tell them the enemy wants them distracted, scared, comparing themselves. Tell them I am here, waiting, always waiting. It hurt to leave the peace, to return to the noise. I felt the pull, the weight, the sharp tear of returning to flesh. But I carried him with me. And that made all the difference. I had seen the truth. I had been shown the web. And now I had a mission to help others unplug, to help others see the light behind the screens, to show them the presence they were starving for. To you watching this right now late at night, scrolling, checking feeds, trapped in endless games or social media, I want you to know something. You are not broken. You are not alone. The fear, the doubt, the pressure, the comparisons, it is not yours. It is being fed to you, and it can be stopped. You don't have to fix yourself first. You don't have to be perfect. You don't need to win every game, get every like, or reach every level. You just need to unplug. Literally, step away from the screen, sit in the silence, wait, breathe, let him in. That is where real connection, real peace, real freedom lives. 10 minutes of silence can heal more than hours of scrolling ever will. I am Ethan. I died from games, from distraction, from the weight of a world wired to feed fear. And I came back, not because I was lucky, not because I was strong, but because I was shown, because I was given the presence of Jesus, and that presence is waiting for you too. Every late-night scroll, every anxious thought, every echo of comparison can be met with a pause, a breath, a moment of real connection. You don't have to fight the web alone. You don't have to let the shadows whisper lies into your heart. He is there, waiting, not in a painting, not in a story, not in a faraway place. Here, now, real, solid, light in the gray. I died for a moment. I saw the truth. And I returned to tell you, there is hope. There is peace. There is a way out. You just have to look up. You just have to reach out. The silence is waiting. The light is waiting. And so am I.